Here we are on the Derbyshire Wye. It's a freezing cold morning, properly cold. You know, sort of like stick heavy layer when you got in the car, sort of cold. But we're doing grayling fishing today. It's been a good season so far, some nice fish come out. I fish mainly on indicator because obviously you can only bank fish on the Wye, on the Peacock Club sections. So it's mainly been indicator fishing because it's a lot more effective from the bank. But today we've got a little bit of rain forecast, but more importantly no wind. The fact that there's no wind means I'm going to have a go doing some Euro nymphing, some French leader style stuff from the bank. On other occasions I've come and I thought, yeah, I'll try it, but there's been a bit of wind and it's just a recipe for going home in a sulk, and I like to sulk. So anyway, I'm going to get cracking and see how I get on. First cast saloon. The water is quite clear. It's up a little bit, I'd say, but nothing too crazy. I'm not one for really going in depth over the rigs, but an always clear water reel on a 10'3" Vision Tane. Cracking little rod, actually, an all-rounder sort of thing, but yeah, spot on, I think. I've got a pink tag on the punt with a 3.5mm bead and a little dull pheasant tail on the dropper. I always like to start off with something a bit flashy on one of the flies, and then something a bit more natural further down. I think some days I can switch onto one or the other. So yeah, anyway, here goes. First few runs, it's just going to be about getting the cast in. It's important that I get right to the edge of the water here with this French leader, because I'm going to need all that extra room behind me to sort of give me that right. So it's going to be a little difficult for the first half an hour or so, simply because the light, I've come out that early, the light's not very good at the moment, so it's going to be a case of getting better as it goes on, I feel, but still we'll give it a try. Yeah, I'm really struggling to pick up that indicator to start with. But we'll see how it goes. If it means I have to stop and have a little bit of brekkie, then so be it. If I was more organised, I'd have an indicator rod set up with me to swap and change, but this is me and organisation. We don't mix, we're not good friends. Okay, we've fished a few pulls already, and the reason why you haven't seen much of them because we haven't caught nothing out of them. I'd like to believe it's not my fishing, but then again, we're fishermen. How many people blame themselves for blanking? None. We're going to fish this riffle through. It's a bit of a nice slow glide, not a riffle actually. I've been fishing riffles all morning. They're on my mind. Well, that's where we want it, just where that water comes out that tree. I think that's where the fish are going to be sat. The beauty of this method is the amount of water we can cover. In likely runs we can cover every square inch of water. Bottom there, which isn't a bad sign to be honest when you're doing this kind of nymphing. If you're not sort of hitching up on bottom every third or fourth cast, really you want to start questioning whether you're fishing deep enough. This time of year, nothing's rising or moving, those fish will be pinned on the bottom. Right, lovely little run here. What you can't see on the camera is I'm up to my knee in mud, but hey, I'll die for the cause if I have to. Right, let's just see how it ticks through. That's not bad, it's not bad. I've got it. That's what I mean about my feet. Oh, it's back on the fish. Back on the fish. Raw, dear. Oh, hello. How about that? Well, that's new. I don't think I'll get it back, but I just left that. I just left those nymphs in the water. It's definitely not a grayling, I can tell you that. This will be a rainbow to get. But I just left those nymphs in the water down there. To recap, oh, this is a fun net. I'm up to my knees in mud, I've got to grab the net. So absolutely stunning. But I just left my my nymphs drift down while I move my feet. As you'll see. I think it's a brownie actually, sadly. He's obviously out of season, so I want to try and get him in as quick as I can and get him gone. Right. It's a fucking great big brownie. What a shame. Another time of the year and that would be an absolutely epic fish. Nymph just in his mouth there. What a shame. Right, straight back with you and go and make some more. Well, first action of the day, but not the action I wanted. I have a few more casts. Obviously it is spawning time and that fish I'd hooked down there. Whether it was just lying in a sheltered lie or doing anything else, I'm not sure. In this instance, I'll have a couple more runs through, but if there's any other sign of a brown trout, I'll assume this is a spawn area and stop fishing. But it's quite deep here, not necessarily super gravelly, so I wouldn't have thought this would be where they spawn. But who knows? After all, I think we've all spawned in places we wouldn't expect to have spawned in at some point in our life. Grayling on. It's a big one and it's gone downstream and under this tree. And I'll be honest, I reckon the chances of getting this thing back is very slim. Obviously with their soft mouths, they're very, very prone to hook pulls. If I just came upstream, I've got half a chance. It's a lovely grayling. Reach back for the net. Oh, so close. So close. Yeah, he's in. Well, what a fish. Quality size grayling. Quality grayling. I mean, if you're only going to catch one grayling in a day, I wouldn't mind that. Right, let's see if we can get him unhooked. Hooks out. Give him some water. What a fish. Wow. Here we are, folks. We're in the business now. I'm not too fussed about the grass. It's been absolutely throwing it down most of the morning. So I know he's pretty okay being down there. I'll see if I can lift him up. Show him to the camera. Absolutely stunning fish. Lovely colours on him. Absolutely lovely colours. Such a lively fish. See if I can get one more for you guys. There we are, folks. A peach of a grayling. Absolutely fantastic. A few more of those today and we'll be really happy. Immaculate colours on it. I think it's time we got this one back home. Right. So I've just come upstream here. Somewhere a little safer for me to be able to release him. He's an absolutely stunning fish. A little bit upstream, just so I can give him a safe release in the water. Mr. Incy Wincy, you're going to get eaten. It's definitely his first meal once he gets it. Or am I? Shit. Right. Let's give this fish a going back. Absolutely stunning grayling. Stunning fish. we're coming, I mean, I've had a hell of a day. We're coming up to what will probably be some of my last pulls. I could go back to the car, I could get to another beat after this, but to be honest, I'm pretty beat, and I mean, I'm sick of shit like this. All I've done is walk with the rod. Why's it done that? Cut. And we're back. Well, we're off untangled. We're tired. We're beat up. Morale is low. Fish count is low. But here we go. Got a decent amount of depth here. I'm not going to be able to hit the fast stuff on the far side due to the distance and the trees. You know, there's a nice good slack in front of me, and there's a good chance of a few fish just in that slow water. It's still pacey, so it's a little slower than the far bank stuff. Let's see how we go. Fly weight looks good, it's ticking along just nicely. I don't feel like I need to change anything there. Sorry, it's about the pause. I just went to recast and there's like a tiny 1-inch grayling dangling on the end of the flies. Piranha like things, those little grayling. Keep working off. Remembering to try right under your feet first before you go walking through it. Again, I'm just a little too heavy for that top of the run. So when I know it's bottom, what I'm doing is just flicking the flies. Flicking them up and off the bottom. Yes, and we're in. Just as the depth changed, there was a little shelf there, and it was all about just finding that runoff where the shelf was. And the silvery flanks on it tells me it's a grayling. Putting up a spirited fight for its size. But on a day like today, every single fish is welcome. So I can just glide it into the net. And we're in. Superb. Lovely little fish. Just find myself a little spot here just to crouch down. Not enough anglers do this. If you catch a fish and there's nowhere by you to keep it in the water during unhooking, quickly get up and move. 3 seconds out the water to move downstream to where you can keep it in the water. It's better than 60 seconds trying to unhook it and possibly cause damage to it on the bank. So, not the biggest of fish, possibly one of the largest. Just see if I can give him a quick lift up for the camera. There you are, stunning little fish, absolutely immaculate. Stunning, absolutely lovely looking colours. And that's why you keep them over the water, in case they do a fish flop. Right, let's get this fella back. I'll try and do a handheld release. No, I won't. I'll do a... He's wriggled out my hand and he wants to go himself release. There. And away he goes. Well, on a tough day like today, I'll definitely take that. I'll definitely take that. Again, on the point fly, the heavier fly, the orange spot PTN, which now has a few millimetres of mud on it as well. I think it's in a size 14. Tends to be my general size for point fly on the Wye. Right, let's keep the flies in the water so they won't get tangled, and I'll head back up to where I caught that fish, in the hope that he wasn't the only one. Let's find out. It's just about there, that was, where that shelf, there's just a little shelf. And how we induce that take is we roll the nymphs across the top of the water here. And as we get to the shelf, just lower the tip and create a little bit of slack. A bit early that time, that's why I snagged up on the shelf. And we're in again. Same again on the shelf. Oh, we're off. And a tangle to boot. Well, you know, on a day like today, I'll take anything I can get. Good sign that there might be one or two more fish around now. So we'll keep sticking at it. At least the twigs are coming thick and fast as well, you know. That's what we like to see. There's some trees been cut down there. Probably opened it up to the point where it's now a little bit more accessible. I mean, this is one of life's mysteries. How can you fish for weeks on end? Just hooking the point fly onto the hook keeper, letting the dropper dangle, and I can fish that weeks on end. Nothing. And yet today, it's about the 4th time that's happened. Marvellous. Right, before you judge, I'm fishing way too heavy for this hole, but I'm at the time of the day where I'm just going to have a few more quick flicks in places and then I'm done. So I'm not fishing super hard, I'm not fishing it like it's a contest. Lighter flies would probably work better, but I'm going to use heavier flies and make it work. How's that sound? Stupid, that's how it sounds, but never mind. What all that was about. Line had half hitched itself around the bob. Not the bob. Bob? Did you say bob? Around the area where the bob would be. Good lord. I dare I mention bobs. I have to go and get pardoned by the priest after. Lesser spotted leaf. This is a fresh leaf. Fresh leaves are even worse because they're that little, oh, there you go, the lovely little helicopter and spin the line into 1,000,000 little knots. Good old leaf. Draw some line in. So we can keep it nice and tight. A few steps across. Coming into the meat of the pool now, this is where I think we're going to have any takes. If there's going to be any fish, this is where I like to think the fish are going to be. Just look behind, so just crashing into a tree. There you go. Got a little fish, little grayling. And when I say little grayling, I mean little grayling. Bend down, get the net. And he's in. Take him to here where I can unhook him much better. Bend over. Oh, very close to face planting the floor, well, the river. Another lovely little grayling. I'll show him you now. No doubt he'll fly off as soon as he gets anywhere near the water. Boom, and away he goes. Lovely, lovely fish. But for those of you that don't know, grayling are a schooling fish. They'll hang around in numbers. I believe the correct term is a pod of grayling. Well, you can call them what you like. A flock, a herd, whatever you want to call them. But I believe the correct term is a pod. So where there's one, and there's your proof. Oh, right. As soon as that happens, you know what this is. This is no grayling. This is, unfortunately, for the time of year, as I take it downstream. I've walked downstream with this fish so it doesn't spook any other possible fish in that pool. But judging by the way he's fighting, this will be the famous Derbyshire Wye rainbow. Which in fact it is. So let's get this fellow unhooked. Little fly took. Decided to half fish himself onto the line. Go on, buddy. And he's away. He decided to absolutely just cause an absolute nightmare with my rig, so that'll all have to be retied. Thanks Mr. Out of Season Rainbow, thank you very much. Cut, retied, another dropper. Only the 2 flies, and if you want honesty, that's not always a tactical choice. If I were going tacticals, I'd fish lighter flies and I'd fish 3 of them. But the reason why I don't is because after more than one tangle of a 3-fly rig, there's people who know, who've seen me fish them, such as Chris and Dash. They'll know if I get a tangle on a 3-fly, I can't even say it. See, that's how much I'm against it. I can't even say it. If I get a tangle on a 3-fly rig more than once, I get emotional. I get sulky. And as much as that's a lovely fish, I can assure you by the way that's going absolutely berserk all over the place, that is not a grayling, and we are off on a run downstream. Now I know this pool has grayling, I've already caught one, so I definitely know that much. It is an absolutely firecracker, wound up rainbow. Lovely little size. And in a couple months time, I'll be back to see if this little fella wants to munch on a dry fly. But right now, as he goes absolutely ballistic. We'll get him in the net. There we go. We're in. Ready? Foot just there to stabilise myself. It's an absolutely cracking of a rainbow. Cracking size fish. Take on a nymph. Again, I think he took the little olive hairs here, droppery style thing. Yes, he has. That little fly there. And we'll just let him go. Just like that. And away he goes. Right. Well, that's how I nearly didn't bother coming up this far. I nearly headed back. It proved to be a bloody good idea, hasn't it, really? Alright, back to where I was. I'll have another go. I have caught a grayling, so there should be more than one in here. However, if I start getting rainbow after rainbow, they are classed as trout season, and I will therefore move on. We shall see. Be careful with the back cast. Ideally, I want that further over to the right. I want that in the flow. Whoa, how about that? Snagged up, snagged out, straight in. I don't think I could get over there any other way. Let's try and, although it's not per se, I'll try and pull the fly into that bit of a... Oh, that was a fish. I saw it stop, but I felt the pull. There's that snag again. You know what? What's the definition there? Stupidity. Doing the same thing again, expecting a different outcome. Well, classic example there. I believe that's another twig. Or that, or a fish doesn't know what's going on yet. That's another load of twigs. It's not a twig. Hold up. It's a famous Wye dragon. You know, it's absolutely full of... look at all this down it now. A little shrimp all over this. The mouth is full of caddis cases. Absolutely full. Well, who'd have thought it, eh? The size out there, that case caddis. Absolutely huge. Well, you know, who'd have thought it? It's definitely my personal best Wye dragon. Dear oh dear. And I've released. And I think that'll be the end of the day. Of course, nice grayling in the end actually. I was a bit worried when we got towards like morning, no grayling, afternoon, no grayling. It started to get a bit of a worry, but thankfully a few fish, and a few nice fish as well actually to brace the net. It's the first time I've really gone a full day using the French leader on the banks. It's tough, it is exhausting as a method. Although the indicator takes a lot of, you know, a lot of thought, and it's still got its own precision in its own right. To sort of actively fish the French leader the entire day, it's been tough. It's been a really tough day. I'm looking forward to going home, and I'm looking forward to getting out fishing again, probably tomorrow. I might try a little canal session by me, some perch on the fly. Yeah, let's see how that goes. As for now, I've got the long walk back to the car, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's one of hopefully many videos. I've tried to keep it as real as a day's fishing is. So tangles are included, trees, leaves, everything that can go wrong out of season fish, I'll include those as an example of how to deal with them if you're out fishing. I don't see the point in not putting them in if you've caught them. I don't glorify them if I've caught them, but it's a real thing when you're grayling fishing, that it happens, and I hope that I'll show how to deal with it as best as you possibly can. But anyway, for me, until next time.